All right. Well, I don't know what the hell happened there, but there was supposed to be audio. I didn't hear any.
Oh,
Hopefully,
it
somebody
was
did.
loud.
Oh, it was loud? All right. Well,
Yeah,
for some reason,
it
it didn't
was
play on my end.
it was the audio I was expecting when I first came on with you. But it is what it is.
Okay. All right. Well,
It was
surprise
good.
everyone. We're here. All right. I'm glad. I'm glad at least you heard it. First time with that new intro. So there it is. Yes. So tonight's guest, if you guys aren't familiar, is the OG of this space. The first person anyone discovers in the Lego investing world over on YouTube is Mr. Jim, the Wolf of Bricks. Welcome, sir. It's good to have you back.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Anytime you make the invite, I always say yes. So happy to
I
be
do
here.
appreciate that. So tonight's mission is to say some of the
As many
things.
people off as possible.
Yeah, it's if there's one person I can trust to say the things that nobody else is willing to say, it is you, and I appreciate that. Because there's so much to bitch about, and it's a sad situation. It's a lot has changed since Amazon had everybody in easy mode, and now there's just tears everywhere, and I think a lot has changed, and I think it's time to kick some people aside or to give them a hand up, whichever way they want. And a lot of people are shunning the hand up, so it's a sad situation. And look at that, we got a bunch of people in here already. What's going on, folks? It's good to see you all. Sean, Never Too Old, Smash. What else we got in here?
Just to let everybody know that's watching it, I have breaking news, and I'm not going to break it unless I see 10 thumbs up. So if there's no 10 thumbs up, then you're not going to have the breaking news.
All right, so we'll keep an eye on that. Rob Claxton, what's happening? So to kick things off here, while we wait for 10 thumbs, it's man, that would be an awkward handshake. A while ago, I'm not even going to try to put a date on it because I don't remember these things so well. When Amazon was booting people, you were sounding the alarm. Hey, everybody, go over to Walmart. What have you seen there? How many of the people you were yelling at actually moved over?
I would say about, honestly, I don't have the answer to that. If I had to guess, probably half to 2/3. There are some people, I mean, here's the deal, folks. The thumbnail says it all for this live stream, tough love, right? Like, I had this one person, great guy, not gonna name him or anything, but longtime VIP member, always had a good time with the group chats. I was always able to help him out, and then he got gated on Amazon, and for some reason he thought I was Amazon customer assistance, right? And we do. I haven't said it in a long time. We do still have a 100% success rate for the people to get ungated, but some of those people have been gated since then, and they haven't been able to get back. And the thing about it is, it is. There's no more secrets. Everybody knows who they are. If they're going to get ungated or put in the effort or adapt to Walmart or other things, I've always said eBay. If you know what you're doing, eBay will always be a solid bet. You're just going to have to change your business model a little bit, and it's not too difficult. But yeah, there's some people that have just gotten out of it. There's some people that have joined the group of, I got hundreds of Lego sets in my basement or in a barn, and I'm just going to continue to not sell it. And then I get an email from somebody in San Francisco. Wait, what day is this? Okay, he's on dialysis right now, so he won't see this. But he'll send me email saying, "Hey, do you know anybody in San Francisco or in California that's willing to take my inventory?" And I'm like, I'm just saying to myself, well, remember 2 years ago, I was going to take your inventory if you were going to send me an Excel spreadsheet, but you never did. But I'm sure some person will be interested in buying your inventory with no Excel spreadsheet, whatever. And I connect him with somebody, and he's like, "You're lowballing me more than what I care for." And I'm thinking to myself, okay, that's fine. I mean, you're always more than welcome to turn down an offer. It's somebody I connected you with, but at the same time, I know you got $20,000 in credit card debt that you spent on Lego that's getting interest. I know you have a part-time job, and I'm really not trying to be mean or cold-hearted here, but if 95% of your inventory is retired, and it retired 4 years ago, oof, and you don't even have the motivation to sell it on eBay just as a casual thing, that's your problem. That's not my problem.
Yeah. It's amazing how many people are more in the hoarding business than they are in the investing and reselling space.
That's going to be my new YouTube channel. I'm going to be purging people's hoard. We're going to find a homeless person in the basement that has an entire friend city that that the owner didn't know about.
Oh man, a friend city. That's going to be worth a couple $100, right?
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. So, okay, you talk about hoarding and having no plan to sell. One of the real problematic questions that I know you've heard 100 times and I get a lot is, it's when should I sell? Which is always fantastic because how many times have we said, know what you're going to sell for before you buy? And that question still comes up nearly every day. Have you found an easy solution for that? Like how to quickly explain the importance of knowing before you buy, other than, well, you're going to go broke?
Yeah, my solution to that is from now on, every time I hear someone ask me when should I sell, is I'm going to Google their address and fly to where they live and put a gun to their head and say, what's the first rule of Lego selling? That's the solution. I mean, here's the deal, man. It's like, why can't we go to the moon anymore, right? We used to be successful and go to the moon. Why can't we sell on Amazon anymore? I mean, we know how the secret sauce is made, right? So yeah, it's so there's this one person, young person, smart person. I told him that he needed to sell all his birds of paradise, and he didn't. I told him 3 other times to sell his birds of paradise, and he didn't. What's it gonna be, man? And here's the deal: do I have inventory right now that I could be selling? I have some. I got a lot of inventory. I mean, my inventory breaks down into a couple categories. Some that can be sold because they're good. Some that can be sold because they're just not going to go up in value anymore, right? and some that like can I say it now since are they all sold out? And then there's some like the shadow bust, right? That really haven't gone up in value yet. I'm checking to see if it says sold out at my local Target. And that was on my hit list. And even if it's okay, it's sold out at Target. Even if it wasn't, there would be like one, right? So it's not like you're going to be
Yep.
stacking 100 of them on January 7th. But it is what it is. So am I selling some right now? Do I have some listed independently of the warehouse? Yes. Do I have some that are not listed? Yes. But guess what? The ones that aren't listed, I still know what I'm going to sell them at, right? That's the key.
Yeah.
And I kind of saw this early on, right? Where there are some steps, and if you do all the steps, you'll be successful. But if you and I mean, this is elementary. If there's one step that you don't do, then you're not going to be successful. For example, okay, you killed it during Q4. You bought a bunch of Lego sets at 30, 40, 50% off. Okay, well, guess what? The next step, besides waiting for it to get up in value, right, is 9 months from now, we're going to list that on Amazon, eBay, or Walmart, right? Okay. Now, if you don't do that, then, there's a problem for so many reasons. Because, my number one thing is if I don't list something right away, my first thought is, I need to list it before they do a remake of it. Now, I know there's not going to be another shadow bust anytime soon. And if they make another one, it's probably going to be terrible, because this one was like pass or fail only, and it passed, right? And it was so close to just hitting the pass. But yeah, so I'm sorry, I'm babbling and I forget where we're at.
We were at knowing when to sell and
Knowing when to sell. Thank you.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So now in there, we have to allow for room to pivot a little bit, because I'm sure somebody's thinking, oh, okay, so you're going to come up with this price and then you're never going to move from there. We got to throw it there. Of course, some things go sideways, right? It's the nature of the business. Nobody's 100%. And if they say they got 100% success rate, they're just lying. We all always have to pivot here and there. But if you don't have a plan to start with, then you're just doomed, right? Because we all have that one set, or 2 or 3, that retirement gets pushed out 3 or 4 times, and then you're just either cutting losses or just collecting dust, one or the other. And we all know that pain pretty well.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of pain, Corey said something in here. Architecture in New York, summer 2026. What is this all about?
Oh, no. Is that for real?
21066.
Are you serious? No, Corey, you're not serious on that one. No, he's got to be joking. And hey, Brick Hive, you better stick around. I'm just letting you know, because I got something to say soon that hopefully you'll appreciate. Okay, we might have breaking news.
All right, 21066 is the White House. So
okay.
I don't know what he's talking about there. Corey, how about a little more info here? It's I don't see what you're talking about, but
Corey's like, Jim knows what I'm talking about. That's all that matters.
Brick Top. All right. Just Collectibles. Hello. Let's see. So dump things on the floor. All right. Quick dirt road here, folks. Hold on 1 second. Now we need to see what's going on here.
No, Corey. No.
Let me scroll a bunch here. What am I missing? Lots of text.
Well, you know what? In all honesty, there could be.
New York architecture. Okay.
Is that true? What Corey's saying? Oh
Yep.
no!
Oh man.
But what does that mean? Tower
okay.
Bridge. What set is that? Is that that's not London, is it?
That's what my guess would be. So either way, I'm guessing it would be similar to the New Paris situation, where it's a very different style, higher price point, bigger footprint of sorts, more in the art style.
Oh, that's what he means. Oh, I'm okay with that. So, and I need to apologize to everybody for whatever reason. I'm not hearing Ken as loud as I should be. I'm not saying that's a Ken issue. So if it doesn't sound like we're constantly in sync, that's why. But I am able to hear him, and my kids are not screaming and pounding on the stomping on the floor. So we're good. Okay, so that's going to be like a architecture art. Oh, and Tower Bridge that's what that means.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm okay with that. Actually, I might even be excited about that.
All right. Yeah. So that's actually not that bad then, because I mean, like the Paris thing, it's sure there's going to be a bunch of overlap, but they're also very different things. So, like, if you're hosting a convention, you can have 500 of the old architecture set and give those away. You're not going to give away that many of an art set, I would think. It's a different customer base, I think, in a lot of ways. It's not very. The art one isn't quite as gift shop. Well, snooty gift shop. It's more wives paint night, which is cool in its own right, but very different. Hey, what's up, Smokey? Good to see you. Snoopy. Finally. Okay. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing Snoopy. I hope they
yeah, I'm just now seeing this list. This is I wonder if this is anything else is Star Wars Boba Fett. Okay, so
all right. Well, there it is.
Another $150. They got that's because of the movie, right? The Razor Crest.
Yeah,
that's got to be
150. That's an annoying price point. That'll wreck the other. Why is there going to be an Olivia Rodrigo set?
Who is that?
Does anybody have any idea why that's a thing?
What is that under?
I don't know. I've seen it pop up a couple times. It's also over here in Bricktop. I will laugh my ass off if it's an upscaled minifigure of Olivia Rodriguez. That would be perfect. I would love to see that, actually. Yeah, I don't know. She's kind of built like a zipper. So yeah, it's not a great thing.
The Rave Cave, is that something millennials do? I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I haven't the faintest idea. I'm gonna have to look that up. I have no idea what a rave cave is. Rave cave. Let's see. All right. So Rave Cave is apparently a bunch of different things, uh, but it's also a brand of cat toys from the Kong company.
Of course it is.
Oh, that's fantastic. All right. Where did my thing go here? Oh, okay. So here's one for you. So what do you think about the people that only get their Lego investing information from YouTube?
I mean, you got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so let's say you're a brand new Lego investor. For whatever reason, you woke up this Monday, first Monday of 2026, or is it the second? I can't keep track. No, it's just the first, and you're like, I'm going to be Lego investing. Well, I recommend you do two things. Either you start guzzling YouTube, and you start to have a filter. Hopefully, you should have a filter in general as a life skill. So you should be able to weed out the garbage. And then the next thing you do is break out a spreadsheet. I mean, when there were no reselling YouTube channels, and I get, and here's the deal: I'm not, by no means am I acting like this is a flex, but I'm pretty certain I was the first one. There may be, and if there was someone else, let me know. Like, for example, there were others like MNR who was he a reseller? Yes, but he didn't focus on that necessarily, right? You might see him come in and out of that, but then I mean he was just like 12 whenever, I'm not exaggerating, like he was like 12 whenever I started my YouTube channel. So you know, I spent, just keeping it real, I spent over 10 grand on Pokemon cards last year, right? Going into January of last year, I knew absolutely nothing about Pokemon cards, and I you know, I didn't learn it. I learned some stuff from my son, but not in regards to reselling. And I wouldn't even necessarily call myself a Pokemon reseller, but I got a pretty impressive inventory, I'm letting you know. And but there were some people on YouTube that were, I would say, subject matter experts. I know for me, you know, if I was focusing on individual cards, I was going for the PSA 10s, right? I'm not trying to do anything else because, you know, a big part of me still says Pokemon's gay, just keeping it real. But if it's an activity I can do with my son and we get closer and I'm able to teach him about business and stuff like that, and you know, build a stronger bond, I'm all for Pokemon. But I started to get into PSA 10s. I wasn't sure, you know, it's no secret. You know, I said I'm going to collect every single PSA 10 Squirtle. And I'm halfway there. And I got, you know, I got this guy. I got a couple, you know, in other places. So I got, I don't know. I definitely wouldn't call myself a big fish, or even a medium fish, whenever it comes to that. But you know, there was some trial and error. There was a little bit of faith. I mean, you could go to whatever that website's called, My Chart, whatever, and you could see the trend over the last 12 months on the PSA 10 Squirtles that were being sold on eBay, which gave me some confidence. And you know, I bought in one of my regrets last year on something I should have bought more of was I only have one PSA 10 Squirtle first edition, right? I bought that 6 months ago for $1,500. It was when I was first getting into it, right? So, you know, that was for me the equivalent to when I bought 26 R2D2 UCSs, set number 10225, and I let them sit in my corner of my room for 18 months, hoping that R2D2 would be on the trailer of the new trilogy. And it was, right. So I knew what I was doing, but I was having, wasn't sure how much faith I had. And now that Squirrel is selling almost for 3,000 now. So,
Wow.
you know, if I had to do it all over again, I probably would have bought 10 of those. But you know, before I forget, as I was preparing for this group chat, you know, if you were to say what's my number one goal this year, in regards to buying Lego, gold and silver, Pokemon, whatever, is, you know, my goal is to do it as soon as I have cash in the bank, as soon as the first of the month hits, because, and I don't want to go there, but it's just because the dollar is becoming devalued so much. And you hear that, right? So you're numb to it. But you know, I was on a call earlier today from somebody who's, you know, doing business in Europe, and he's been doing business with them for a couple years now, and you know, the prices have gone up for him and his business by 12%, and it's not because of they're raising the prices in Europe. It's because the dollar's just getting devalued, and you see gold and silver at record prices right now. So you know, one of the least popular things, I'm not sure why, and I'm fine with it, is one of the least popular things for me to put on my YouTube channel are videos about gold and silver. Maybe not now because it's at an all-time high, but if you're not putting your money into gold and silver, you know, you should do it in Lego, or you should look at Pokemon. And the interesting thing, and I'm sorry, I'm kind of going on long here, is Pokemon is the Wild West. And, you know, I've said this before, you thought Lego people were divas. Pokemon people, I mean, they're like, I swear to God, every Pokemon diva has a therapist on speed dial. They're so emotional. And because of that, I see a lot of opportunity. People are not thinking clearly. They're making mistakes. And even though I would say the space is much larger in the Pokemon space than Lego, there's still room to do what you need to do to get the job done.
The Pokemon thing really confuses me, and it's purely because of ignorance on my end, right? Now, with Lego makes perfect sense to me because, well, I use it. Like, I appreciate it. Like, obviously, we have a little bit in the house, so we do something with it. With Pokemon, like, I don't know what it's all about. I guess it's a trading card game, right? I don't know how you do that or why, what any of that's about. There's a cartoon. Fairly certain I saw that there's a video game or a bunch of them. Like, purely due to ignorance on my part, I don't understand it. I don't have any interest either. So it's very hard for me to be motivated to invest or resell something I just can't possibly care about. And but with something like gold and silver, you don't need to care about it. You just need to know what its function is in your portfolio, and then it just be over.
Well, that's very simplistic too. Gold and silver, yeah, you shouldn't. I mean, there are people that don't know anything about gold and silver, but if you're, you know, if you pay attention, it is what you get out of it, right? You know, gold, you know, it's silver. There's no earnings call. There's no, you know, employee strike, so the stock is going to go down or anything like that. Yeah. So that's That's really good for me. For my son, there's a lot of challenging things I'm just not able to have my son do, or because he's so precocious. But he's into Pokemon cards, so I'm like, okay, if you're into Pokemon cards, like I want you to be an alpha in Pokemon cards. So I introduced him to PSA 10s, and my first one that I bought was like a cheap $35 Japanese one, right? Um, so that sparked some interest, and then he started sharing it with all his friends, and he had the conversation like, I'll trade this PSA 10 Pokemon card for your entire binder because that's what it's worth, loser. So that's there's multifaceted on why I wanted to pounce on the Pokemon thing. And then I was like, okay, I bought like maybe 6 or 10 PSA 10 Japanese Pokemon cards before I was like, Jim, you don't know what you're doing, which was fine because the goal was just to get affordable PSA 10 cards. You don't know what you're doing, but if you're going to continue to buy, you need to streamline it. You need to have a goal. And so then I started to settle on every PSA 10 Squirtle, which is challenging because there are some Squirtles out there that don't have a PSA 10. So that means I'm going to have to buy booster boxes and send them into grading. And I've done some of that already. The Squirtle Build-A-Bear exclusive cards. Dude, hey, I mean, I'm familiar with that laugh. You're laughing at me like I'm talking to my friends about buying freaking architecture sets, right? And that's fine. But hey, I mean, I don't know. I could be doing a lot worse.
Wow. All right. So to kind of connect that to the question there, where does the information come from? Because we started off talking about getting information just from YouTube. To do fairly well, you must have dug in deeper at some point from somewhere, right?
I mean, let's see. Smoky Bones, I'm so glad you invested 10K into a hobby that you call gay. Smoky Bones, I spent 10 grand on spilt liquor a year, all right? So it's, I'm joking, but it is what it is. Here's the deal. I don't care about money. I just don't. I dropped $13,000 on a course that I decided not to take. I don't care about money. Now, that doesn't mean I don't appreciate money and I don't spend money wisely. I mean, I live in a pretty nice house. I'm just saying, and whenever I have friends that come and visit, they're like, they're looking at me like I made it. And I'm like, really? I'm like, my only life goal is to buy a house that's bigger than my parents' house. I mean, and that's it. I don't keep up with the Jones or anything. So it is what it is. But for me, the story. It's been a while since I've shared this story. And I'm not afraid of money either, right? Like there are people, I told my wife when I tell her how much I started spending on Pokemon cards, like you could see her sphincter start to tighten, right? And it is what it is, right? And you have they're like people over 70 don't get this. They don't get what the Gen Zers are doing, let alone what the Gen Xers and stuff like that. Like I like my father-in-law, love him. He's an MBA, right? So you would say if he's an MBA, you would think he had a top executive position in Pepsi. So you're thinking to yourself, okay, this guy's got to be smart, right? And then I say to him, do you see what the price of silver is, right? And he's like, yeah. He said, I never understood that. He said, I bought silver 30 years ago when it was $30, and then it went down to like $10 for 20 years. And, I just don't see what the popularity in silver is. I'm like, that's because you weren't cost dollar averaging, knucklehead, right? So making a long answer even longer, sorry, Ken, is, this was a hobby for me starting in 2012. I guess maybe 2011 is when I started buying Lego, or late 2010, early 2011. And I was doing it as a hobby for 4 years. And after 4 years, I kept on checking the numbers, and I said, the numbers don't lie. And somebody that was burned in the stock market during the housing crisis, I'm just now getting back into the stock market because that's how shook I was. And I said, the numbers don't lie. So I liquidated $50,000 of gold and silver back then, which I don't regret, because I was able to take that and do hundreds of thousands of dollars in Lego. My only regret is not... I know this is a Lego live stream. My only regret is to not get out of Lego at the end of COVID, because I made $256,000. Maybe not fully get out of Lego, but if I would have put all that money into gold and silver now, or back into crypto, then it would be even more. But it is what it is, right? So I looked at my 4 years of performance. And architecture was treating me well. And so whenever I started to get out of architecture and I started asking questions about minifigs, people are like, are you an effing idiot? Like, you're successful at Lego reselling. Why are you asking me stupid questions about minifigs? I'm like, dude, because I've been in architecture like for half a decade, right? Like, it's what it is. I didn't start getting out of architecture until 2019. I was in architecture, 98% of my eBay store was architecture. And I had like thousands of sets and and it was all architecture.
All right. So let me ask you about that then, because there's a lot of people now who are doing one of two things. They're very, very focused on a specific theme and don't work outside of that, or they buy just a tiny little bit of pretty much everything and kind of hedge their bets across the board. What do you think of that?
Well, so everybody that is watching this, right? You're either a Lego reseller or you're smart to the Lego reselling business, right? So what I'm saying to you should not be anything new. The only difference is you're hearing this first person, from somebody in the first person. Early on, I would have these VIP calls with people, and we would go over the inventory, and they would share their screen, and that would determine how long the call is going to be. And there are clearly people that want to be resellers, but they're not paying attention to what resellers are doing, even though it was explained to them, and they don't care. And I had this nice guy. We tried. He's in LA. When I was in Vegas, when I was in LA, I missed him by a day, and then when I was in Vegas, he missed me by a day because we were going to hang out. But he was like a college student, and he had like 110 SKUs. So that's not good. What makes it even worse, or better in this case, is that 75% of his inventory was less than quantity 10. And that's not the first time it happens, right? So whenever that happens and I see the Excel spreadsheet, I'm like, all right, where's the double digit quantity? Where is it? Where is it? Okay, you got 10 speed champions. All right, well, you know, your eBay store is not completely shit, but it's borderline. So I don't know. I mean, am I as an efficient Lego reseller as I was 5 years ago? No. The difference between me and those other people that are just getting into it or have 2 years under their belt is, you know, I don't like to complain, but I'm a little bit burned out doing it for so long. And that's why, you know, Pokemon was a nice distraction for me, because I'm like, I could still do the same stuff. When it comes to my inventory, like I could have my inventory in a briefcase. I have this, I spent money on this. It looks like a nuclear football for those of you that know what that is. And I got Pokemon, Gold and Silver, and Cocaine in there. And it's ready to go, just in case I have to get out of Dodge. So
and you need something to help you run.
Yeah. The only thing that's missing is hookers and a 9mm. But in a good, I need to get another bottle of bourbon down here. Yeah. So you know, it's like anything, right? Like something that I've been using as an example in my head a lot is there was this broad that it always starts with that. We're talking 15 years ago. I'm at a Super Bowl party, and this was the Colts versus the Jabronis. I have no idea, right? And every white suburban housewife had a hard on for Peyton Manning, right?
It's that forehead.
And they would just scream. There's this one lady who, I guess she's smart. I didn't know her that well, but I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. But she would just, you know, scream for the Colts. But if you asked her anything about the Colts, she had no clue, right? So I feel like, you know, there's too much of knowing a little about a lot of stuff, right? So there's this person, you may have seen him on one of the Facebook groups, really, really good guy. His name is Andrew, not Super Andrew, this is a different Andrew. And he was talking to me for about 2 years about you know, getting into Rolex watches or just watches in general. And I purposely put that off, and I kept on saying, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it, because I know I'd become obsessed with it. And then one time I got into it, right? And I became super obsessed. But you can only be spinning so many plates at one time, right? I mean, if people are wondering why you're not posting on the public channel, because I came back like a couple months ago and I said, you know, I'm back. Well, you know, life happens. I had a loved one pass away. I got injured at work. My children are, both of them, God bless, have tested gifted at school, but one of them is like barely testing gifted, right? So I'm constantly tutoring them at home, and like I have all these other things. I have all these other plates that are spinning, right? And you just have to prioritize it. So, you know, if you're going to get into Lego investing or the Indianapolis Colts football or hockey, a real man's sport, you know, just keep in mind that, you know, that's going to take away from some other stuff, and you can't be at all the places at one time. Now, if we're going to talk about Super Andrew, I would say he's gifted. He's into a lot of things. Now, granted, he's younger, so he works hard. He works super hard. So I'm not trying to say he doesn't, but he doesn't have as many responsibilities as you or I do. And he's into everything. I'll send him screenshots of something, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I already saw that." I'm like, "Cool." And I'm like, I'm in the stuff that I have conversations with him about, the things that he brings up. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I swear, like you're like the first person in the Lego reselling, except for like the moderator of Lego Leak or Brick Tap. Like it's those two, and then it's Super Andrew. Like that's where the the authority is. So yeah, I mean it's still an exciting time to be in Lego reselling. No, I'm not going to get on the rooftops and scream that on my YouTube channel, but I talk about it on the VIP, on the VIP channel, on the Discord and on the Patreon, because we have two, which Ken and I are not going to get into on that. But I was talking about a Lego set. That's I think I posted the video yesterday, or maybe I can't remember. That sold 20,000 units last month, right? That's pretty impressive, man. And when you go to the Camel 3X, you can see whenever it's out of stock, there's a huge spike. So I almost feel like I'm kind of going back to where I started, where I think at my peak I had like 110 SKUs, and that's a number I'm not comfortable with. The max for me would be 90, but when I first started, I was in between 10 or 15 SKUs, and that's what I'm going back to, 10 or 15 SKUs, and it's all going back to the fundamentals. That's it.
So you mean 10 or 15 per retirement cycle, right?
Yes.
Because you're kind of always playing 3 at once, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, everybody watch them. We're going to set the bar low. I asked for 10 thumbs up. We still are at 1. If we have 5 thumbs up, I have some breaking news.
No, there's more than that.
Oh, wait.
Hold on. Give it a little refresh.
Do I need to refresh it?
Yeah. Let's see. 16. Looks like.
Oh, I got 17 now. Okay. Does everybody want the breaking news now or later?
Let's see. What do you got?
I guess so. I'll share it now. So we have breaking news in World of Bricks universe. The WOBU MCU is so after, what is it? 2 years. 2 years of we are retiring. We are retiring this picture right here. We were going to retire it last January until somebody said, "I can't believe Jim has a picture of this person up there." And I said, "You know what? We're going to keep it up for another year." So we are saying goodbye to this person. People don't know the inside story to that. That's not my type. I don't date ugly people. But
come on, man.
We are going back. We are going to the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, the Honky Tonk Man. So first, the first year we had Randy Macho Man Savage, autograph, by the way, to Jim, circa 1990 or 1989. Then we went to this person, and now we're at the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, The honky tonk man. So there we go. Breaking news. Breaking news.
Oh man, you are one of a kind. I love it.
It was going to be tough love, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder. No, it's not going to talk about Holly. Nothing negative there anyway. I don't see a lot of her anymore. I don't know if the algorithm is just not sending her my way, or if she's quieted down, or what happened there. Whatever.
I keep my mouth shut on that.
No, I mean, other than her thing about, it's the problem with Lego investing, I have no issue with her.
I don't know. At this point, I thought she might be dating an F1 racer, simping over F1 Lego sets so much.
I don't know. That display she had with the cars kind of upright hanging on the wall, that thing was actually kind of cool.
Hey, you know what? Because not that I talk about Lego influencers on my off time that much, but her name came up earlier today whenever I was on a call with somebody. Got a lot of information from that person. If there's time after the call, I'll share it. But her name came up, and I said, listen, to her credit, she's putting out decent YouTube videos. I mean, you could tell there's a lot of work into it. And from one content creator to another, that's something. Well, that's something every content creator should appreciate. So I'm sure she wishes I was in some place underground and very warm. To her credit, she's doing her job, so it is what it is.
Okay, so to kind of connect a couple things together there, LAN members in the investing space, is that awesome or is that weird? I mean, specifically talking about Stud City here, who I think is great. You've had him on the private call. I think he's a great guy. That's a weird situation.
That's funny because that's another influencer name. That was the first influencer name that came up today in a discussion. And here's the deal. I'm not I love Stud City. You know, we had a good time hanging out at Brick World. And there's no but to it. But you know, and I'm trying to keep things in confidence, but you know, he is doing his thing. God bless. Corey says, is the Holly photo signed? You know what? I'm going to Brick World this June just for that. That is Corey, let me tell you, you're a gem. And I mean that with all sincerity. I hope you know I mean that with sincerity. But anyway, back to Crystal. When I'm on eBay, you see all of his advertisements for his whatnot version of eBay. And listen, at the end of the day, you know, if there was one land person I would want to have a bunch of success, he's probably in the top two, right? So God bless. I mean, I hope it doesn't sting him. I think he has a couple advantages. I think he's insulated and protective, or he's protected in a sense. But yeah, God bless him. But yeah, he's hustling, he's slinging.
Yeah, it's good to see. And the fact that he was doing it prior to being accepted into LAN, so they knew what they were getting into when they accepted him. I think that's
he disclosed that.
Yep.
That wasn't like, you know, whatever.
Yep. Yeah, good for him. I root for him. I wish him all the best. You know, being sponsored by eBay, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So good for him. I love to see it. And now he's one of the celebrity appearances at the new Bricks and Minifigs that's being run by Tyler, which is wild. Tyler is a GM.
Yeah, I just learned that today
so
myself. I learned that today myself too. Listen, man, I wish everybody nothing but success. I'm really trying to turn over a new leaf this year, despite my my biting tongue. I am I am going to convert to Catholicism at the beginning of this year, and I just wish people nothing but peace and love. I mean that. I'm laughing because that's not something that normally comes out of my mouth, but I do mean that. So,
well, good things will come from that. Yeah, it's a good way to be. I mean, I don't think it's possible to get through life without a certain degree of shit talking. I think it's just that's natural. But
well, and especially if you were
intent makes
born
all of the
into
difference.
that.
Yeah. Where are we here? Oh, okay. So the scalping thing has been a major topic for the last couple months, and it gets funnier and funnier. So there's, I'm not even going to try to remember his name because I don't care enough because all he does is cry. And this guy, so City puts out his video about Target and their price matching guarantee and whatever, which personally I didn't like that much because it's like you're giving up too much juice. Keep it off of YouTube. I don't have a problem with telling people to do it. I just wish he kind of kept it in Discord. Whatever. The company put the rules out there. Take advantage of the rules, right? So if they say, hey, we put this out, the price goes down in the next whatever number of days, go ahead and price match. Why would you not take advantage of that? So Crystal puts out the video, it tells everybody, hey, you know, they put out this price match guarantee, and then they tell us that all of this stuff is going on sale tomorrow. Why would you not buy it today? And then just price match tomorrow. Seems like a no-brainer, right? The amount of hate he got for that was unbelievable. Oh, he's a scalper, and he's a scalper. And it's like, wait a second here. No. That's not what scalping is. The shit's been on the shelf for 2-3 years, some of it.
Yeah.
Right? So you've had all the opportunity in the world, and he's sharing this information. He's not buying 100% of himself. Sure, he's buying some, of course, but he's not clearing out all of the stores. And it's available on the internet. It's not like he's going to his local store and clearing the shelf. It's the freaking internet. And it's Target. So you're limited to 3 per order anyway. So what's the most he's going to buy? 150, even if he wanted to, whatever. People are freaking out. It's like, he supplied you with the information. You're crying because you're broke and you can't afford these. Or you didn't see the video until 3 days later when everything was sold out. And listen, if you can't afford these sets, I'm never going to talk shit about somebody for not being able to afford something, especially Lego. So much of it's overpriced anyway. That's not my issue. My issue is crying about it under whatever false pretenses. Like, don't say he's an asshole because you have an issue with something entirely related, and it's driving me crazy. And people saw how many views that video got from that person. And then all of a sudden, everybody was making the same video. It's like, guys, scalping is like when you go buy tickets to an event and then, it's a one-time engagement with a very limited number of things, and then you go and sell it at markup. Which again, I'm not necessarily going to fault people for. I mean, I don't necessarily like that practice myself. It's not something I do. But business is business, and everybody's got their hustles, so whatever. But if you're going to hate on somebody, at least hate on them for the right thing. And then it starts to spread to talking about all of the investing and reselling channels and how it's all scalping promotion. When was the last time you got on one of your videos and suggested people get on a day one buy? Do you recall ever doing that?
If I've done it, I know I've done it in the past, but it was as I said I was speaking as a collector, like the Speed Champions. I was about to say Back to the Future, Fast and Furious, but that's not a thing. Can you imagine if that DeLorean was in the Fast and Furious? But anyway, and you had like this scarred up Marty. And anyway, but I would say the Lightning McQueen Speed Champions day one buy. But just for that, I hate using the same example over and over and over again. But speaking Back to the Future, that $200 DeLorean, back when it was originally $200 before the price went up to $250. I mean, I was seeing that said in the trunk of people's cars. They're just putting pictures of it online, and I'm like, are you serious? And here's the thing too, man. It's like, I don't want to go there again, but I mean, the population is just degrading. I mean, it's just becoming dumber and dumber. Like why can't we go to the moon? Right? If we allegedly did it in 1969, people just. I mean, I see it. So I don't know how old your children are, and it's none of my business. But if I had to guess, your children are probably a little bit older than mine, just from past conversations. And something I've noticed, and I talked to my best friend in California about this, is because of YouTube Shorts. Like my children don't do TikTok or Instagram or anything like that, or they're just not on any of that. But they do have access to YouTube Shorts, and that's trained their brain to be, just do these drive-by thoughts with nothing attached to it. And for some people, you'll have conversations with them, and it's like their brain isn't even built to have a conversation longer than 2 minutes. Like there's this person I work with. He's a good guy, so I'm not trying to trash him. How old is he? I think he's 21 years old. He's got his own car. He's got his own apartment with his girlfriend. He's got a full-time job, so he's not a dirtbag, right? I don't even think he plays video games that much. He likes going to the gun range. But when you look at him, you could tell that his motivations are limited, right? And then when you try and have a conversation with him, it's not challenging, because I'm not trying to. The only time I really have a long conversation with him is because I'm kind of just observing him, seeing how far his freaking buffering system is going until there's a 404 error. But people that's all they do. They just have drive-by thoughts. They just pass. They'll make a comment, and you know, I'm not going to say I'm the same way, but there are times where I'm on a YouTube video and I'll see someone with a comment and I'll say read more, and then there's like 3 paragraphs. I'm like, I'm not reading that for a freaking YouTube comment. Are you kidding me? And I actually think that there's I'm right in that, but I mean the new generations. I mean. It's not all bad though, right? So the boomers, I mean, worst generation ever, for so many reasons. Then you have the millennials. They're the second worst. I would almost say that they're equally as worse, but for different reasons. You have Gen X, which is my generation. I blame them for spawning you know, the millennials and that crap that came out, and I got 2 Gen Alphas, but I'm really impressed with Gen Z. I mean, they seem no nonsense. They don't take bullshit. You know, that's people is it people that are NPCs. Thank you for that right there. What's that name? Abastia 1230. Thank you for that. Yeah, it's just like that, and that's there's a lot of problems that go along with that. So when people, getting back to what you were originally talking about, scalping, you know, there are YouTube channels out there that I know and I've met, and there was this other, I'm not going to say his name because I'm not trying to disparage him, and it might be taken out of context. But if I said this name, everybody, I'll give you a hint. I think he's got 86,000 subscribers. His channel has grown a lot lately, and he changed his name because you can't have, once you get up to a certain threshold, if you want to be friendly with Lego can't be in the channel name, right? It has to be Brick something or you know, whatever, Productions. But I know this person can critical think, like that's what he does in his job, and he's talking about scalping, and I'm like you and who knows? I mean, if I were to say his name and he were to call me after this video, he might say, you know what, I do know the difference, but I'm trying to dumb it down to their level. Do me a big favor. My phone is plugged in, but I think it might have the outlet, it might have popped out. So just give me one moment to plug it in. I apologize, folks. We're doing it live.
Live is the only way to go. As a lot of you guys know, I basically do nothing recorded. Everything we do is live, because recorded requires editing and talking to yourself, and I don't like to do either.
This is not working.
Oh,
there it is. Okay, I was gonna did it work? Okay, it worked. I was gonna give a joke of the day as time killer. Does anybody want to hear a joke of the day? Why is a vampire, this is a terrible joke, by the way. Why are vampires bad artists? Because all they could do is draw blood. Anyway.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, I would tell you the joke about the bus full of nuns going over the cliff, but this is a family show. We can't go there.
You know, there's been studies that dad jokes are actually good for a child's development. And I don't know if that study is a real thing or not, but I appreciate it. Hey, it's Liam Break the Bread. What's going on, man? All right, where is my list here? The first thing on my list is Carly Simon.
You could do worse.
Yeah. Well, so the idea being there, I mean, you're of the right generation to remember the song You're So Vain, which a lot of people have forgotten.
Richard Gere, right?
Um, Richard Gere.
What didn't she sing? What wasn't that
Oh,
about Richard Gere?
yeah, that might have been. That time frame is right. So yeah, it could have been. Uh, but yeah, the whole idea being, it's you're so vain. I bet you think the song is about you. I wrote that in my notes because inevitably there's something that's going to come from this show that somebody is going to think, they are the reason that the topic came up. And,
Yeah.
I find that to be amusing. Jandern, what's going on, man? There's another dirty scalper in the building.
Another dirty scalper.
Actually, shouldn't you be on a stream right now, Jandern? Wednesday nights is your thing, right? Actually, I suppose that it would have been a little while ago because I can't keep track of time ever. Yeah, Scalper reporting for duty. Perfect. The whatnot thing I find to be amazing.
And so let's talk about that. You should have. I should have. The person I talked to. I should have waited till this live stream, and we could have not. Yeah. So here's my thing about whatnot, and I can't be the only person that has thought of this, right? So there have been times I've been on some live streams, and after the live streams have been done, we're all hanging out in the green room, and there are some Lego influencers that wouldn't normally hang out with me, right? These are the ones that are afraid to get close to a dirty reseller, but at the same time, they'll go ahead and dress up as a Teletubby during a Brick World gig because that I don't know that's that's the what's it called, the humiliation ritual for being that successful as a Lego influencer. But anyway, so they're talking about whatnot and whatnot has said to them and this and that and the other. And this was like a couple years ago because I've been I haven't been trying to be low key on YouTube. I really haven't. It's just the time and the way things are working out. Hopefully, in less than a year, I'm going to no longer have a full-time job again because I really don't need to have one now that my wife has a job and I got my Army retirement. But we're just trying to do a couple things. But so I'm hoping to be back on YouTube a lot more regularly in the future. But they're talking about whatnot and the deals that they've been approached with and contracts and this and that. And, I don't want to say that they don't know what they're talking about, but I'm thinking to myself, okay, you've been a Lego influencer for 5 minutes. And now, because you're getting approached by whatnot in other places, now you're eventual. You've known about venture capitalism for 5 minutes too. It doesn't make you a subject matter expert, right? And so my thing is whatnot, and this is of course no secret, has been recruiting people hard for whatnot, right? You have I forget that guy in Michigan with the barn, whatever his name is.
These bricks.
Yeah, these bricks. He used to be on whatnot, so he had that live crash out or whatever. But and I'm saying to myself, like how many more years is this venture capital money going to last, right? Like at what point is the board of directors going to say, all right, it's time to go public or it's time to shut down? Because I actually thought about doing an anti whatnot video on the public channel because I don't know. I don't want to say nothing interests me there because I did buy one thing. I was interested in another thing, but that sold before I could get my hands on it. But they don't have the as much inventory listed as eBay. I don't even think they come close to it. And when you're doing the live feeds, I'm not trying to be a special snowflake here, but if there's something I'm looking for and I have $500 in my pocket that I'm willing to spend on a live stream or whatnot, and I ask a question, they're like, "Oh yeah, we might have that. Stick around." I'm like, "No, I'm not going to stick around because what I'm looking for is a little bit hard to find, and if you have it, you need to let me know it now because I'm going to buy it." And so I just and they're hitting the ads. I see nothing but Whatnot. You see Holly, you see M&R on them, you see everybody on them, and it's almost like when you created your first Facebook group, right? And it was like, "I love puppies" or something like that. Or free dog food for puppies, and you're going to start like this cottage 501(c), and you're like, "Okay, who am I going to invite?" And you invite all your friends, and because that's all you know, right? You don't know about putting out weekly blog posts or daily blog posts to try and hit people's algorithms. You have 200 friends, and only 12 of them join, and you're like, "What?" So it seems like a firing squad, right? So, I'm bringing this up is because it's like, how much longer does Whatnot have? I don't think they're on the verge of going away anytime soon, but I see them doing the same things they've been doing for 3 or 4 years now, and there's not as much of a payoff as what I would like to see if I'm a part of Whatnot. Now, I'm just observing this on the sidelines, so there might be some stuff that I don't know, but I was sharing this to this my thoughts with somebody you and I know earlier today, and he said the same thing. So I don't know. It kind of it also reminds me of, you get 10 friends, and then each one of them will get 10 friends, and then we'll have this successful thing. It's like I mean, how are they not at maximum reach of their audience right now? Right? It's not 5 or 10 years ago where there was no TikTok. There was no, I mean, there was Instagram, but it wasn't like it was back then. Anybody that is in their 20s that pays attention to their smartphone, they know how the algorithm, they're smart into everything. Like everything is democratized, right? So, I see Whatnot doing the same playbook that they have for years.
Yeah. So Whatnot hasn't been on my radar for very long. I don't know. It's say 18 months or so, maybe less. And it took forever before I would even look at it because I know how my brain works, and it didn't seem like a good idea for me to get into Whatnot streams because I knew what could potentially happen there. And I finally gave in, and it really depends on who the host is, right? If you find a good host, even if you don't intend to shop, you can watch it like a show.
Yeah.
Just, have your headphones on, be entertained. It's some of these shows, chat is great. They turn into a big family depending on where it is. And it really becomes kind of an event, which I think is great. You can find some really cool things on there. And, like you said, if you have a request or you want to see something, thrown in early, that can really depend a ton on the host. I've seen a few people who are a real pain in the ass about that. And then some people, they'll take requests, they'll throw in, they'll skip around in the order, throw something up just because you've requested it. It depends on the host a lot. I do see what you're saying though, with it feeling flooded. It's I'm going to assume it's an algorithm thing because, the internet has heard me talk about it. So, 2 seconds later, every screen you open is going to have some mention of it somewhere. It's the nature of the internet now, I think. So it does feel a little ridiculous. But I don't know if that's because we're too close to it. Like, if you go to the mall and you just see somebody walking around, I would never interact with somebody random at the mall. That's a bad example. Um, but if you just talk to like somebody regular in society, do they know about whatnot? Or are we just too close to it? So it seems like you're hearing about it a ton. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, good point here. The people that spend over what something is worth. Yeah, just for clout a lot of times. Yeah.
Well,
And for addiction,
this topic made me think of, whenever I did a year in the exotic plant business, right?
Yep.
There was this guy, and let me tell you, this guy did better than any Whatnot or live eBay stream I've ever seen. He had his own Facebook group. And let me tell you, man, plant people are fanatical. And some of you may have seen it firsthand. I haven't. Some of you may have gotten a glimpse whenever the Birds of Paradise went from $75 to $150 in 3 months. And I knew that was going to happen, especially because it was a Target exclusive.
Yeah.
But this dude has his own exotic plants Facebook group. There was like 57,000 people on it, right?
What?
And I'm not, yeah. And here's the deal. That's after that's the 2.0 Facebook group. For some reason, they had to shut down the first one. And this is the second one. And this dude, where's that guy? I want to make sure he's on here so I could say this word a second time for him since he seemed to keep on talking about it afterwards. But not to sound gay, but this dude was ripped. He looked like Thor. He had his own greenhouse, and every freaking Friday night, starting at like 6 or 7, he would he would do a live stream on Facebook. He'd do a Facebook Live. And he would say, I'm not getting off here until I sell 100 plants. And he would do an auction, and he would say, okay, I got this, we'll just stick with, the Lego Botanicals. We have this Bird of Paradise, and the timer, it was a 3-minute timer, right? And the people would bid up. The person that won would shoot him an eBay, would shoot him a PayPal message. And he would write the number on the plant. He would give them and they would do exchange that way. This dude was so charismatic. And it was better than any Whatnot or eBay live stream I've ever seen.
Man, I can't imagine dumping money into exotic plants. That just bananas. Like,
well, with the exception of them being live organisms, that would, if they weren't live and you had to freaking water them all the time and keep them going, that's easier than Lego, because you see what they're selling for online now, and then you go to some dude in Indonesia's Instagram account and say, I want 10 of those. and then you send him the money and he sends it to you. And if he doesn't, if they come back dead, then you cancel it and you screw his PayPal up. And like they know the deal. I mean, it's not it's a lot more difficult to do banking over there than it is here. So you know, they play by the rules. I'll give everybody that I did business with grace and say they play by the rules. There was 1 or 2 times where I did receive dead flowers or dead plants, and I wanted my money back, and stuff like that. But you know, once you have that, that's like a 2-week flip, right? You buy a Florida Beauty for $125. You sell it for $225. You don't have to wait 18 months for a Lego set to retire or to mature in value.
You got to keep it alive, though.
Yeah, that's the thing, and it was starting to get out of control. And I had you know, I had to propagate shit that the plants where I had to split them up, and it was just it's dude. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, that's suspiciously like work. I mean, that was one of the big selling points for Lego for me on the investing side is like, yeah, you do your due diligence, you kind of pay attention, you know, whatever. But then like the extent of your effort is you find a place to put it and then you find a place to no longer put it. Right?
Yeah.
Like you keep it and then you get rid of it. And then that's the end of the story. The maintenance is make sure it's safe. You know, that's fine. I can handle that. Space danger is a real problem.
Yeah.
And yeah, storage space out here is.
And I was all in. I had my own greenhouse in this corner right here, in the basement, and people are laughing when I'm telling this to them because they think when I say exotic plants, I'm talking about drugs or something. I'm like, no, like, you know.
Yeah. Well, you can't sell those anymore anyway. You'd be competing with the government. They don't like that. Wolf of Bulb Street. Whatever. That's good. Yeah, I don't know. There's just so many ways to make money out there.
That was funny. May God have mercy on your soul.
Yeah. Joking there. Yeah.
I feel like that's not the first time someone said that to me. Anyway.
Yeah. It took me 10 minutes to figure out you actually meant exotic plant. Oh, yeah. Like legitimate exotic plants. Yeah.
You could go on Instagram and type in opals in the search box, right? And you know, I've done that, but I never dabbled in that because I was like, just add that to the list of other things too. And that's the thing too. I got 2 non-Lego businesses I'm working on right now, and I barely have time for that. And it's just you just. Everybody that's single, I hope one day that you do get married and you do have children, because being a parent is like the greatest thing in the world. I'm very serious. Yeah. But right now, while you're single, you know, there's opportunities for you to do things that you can't do in the future. And if you lay the groundwork now, then you know, and do all the heavy lifting, there will be less heavy lifting in the future if you become successful and you're just maintaining it.
Yeah, everything is easier before kids, except for happiness. I think that is easier after kids. It's different though. It's a very different thing, but yeah, I think they for sure fill a hole. I don't know that life was really complete before them, but yeah, everything was certainly easier before the kids came. But they're awesome. I would not trade them for anything unless the in-laws want to take them. Then I'll trade them off to them for a couple days here and there. That's always nice. All right, where are we on my list here? The exotic plants things always gets me. Makes me wander off a little bit. So actually, okay. So before we go anywhere else with that, so okay, so we've talked precious metals, we've talked watches, Pokemon, Lego, and plants. What other weird things have you invested in? Anything else?
Invested in or done businesses with?
Well, I mean, it's on the reselling side of things.
On the reselling side, I haven't run guns to Nicaragua or anything like that.
You still get time.
Honestly, I would say when it comes to reselling, I mean, I did. Oh, it's upstairs. It's been down here for like most of the time. It's been down here for freaking 8 years since I bought this house, and yesterday I took it up, and I can't. But so, whenever 2017, whenever they came out with those new Teddy Ruxpins, I bought $10,000 worth of them.
Oh my Lord!
With and I'm not the only Lego investor out there. I doubt she's listening, but I know her name starts with a K, and it's not Karen. But she and I, day one that they released that, I went to Barnes and Noble. I slapped down. I'm trying to remember either discounted gift cards because I got them for. I want to say I got them for $7,000. I got $10,000 worth of Teddy Ruxpins for $7,500, right? And I was like, oh, we're gonna make a ton of money. We're high-fiving each other, and it's going good. And then it's they didn't sell out, and the prices went down. I'm like, how is this happening? And the thing about it was. It was a what do you call those? It has like LED eyes, and it's got like an app that you could use. And I think a lot of parents were complaining because the app wasn't user friendly or it was glitchy and stuff like that. And so now Target, I'm trying to remember if Target was even doing exclusives at that time for Lego, but Target had its Teddy Ruxpin exclusive where you had the 2.0 Teddy Ruxpin that was sold everywhere, and then you had the vintage style remake, the 1.0 version that was at Target, and that was going for some money. But yeah, I mean I gave. If I wasn't underwater like I was the ATST Raiders, I probably out of $7,500, I probably lost $1,000, because I needed to hold them for a long time. I gave like half a dozen away as gifts. I think each one of my children have 2 of them. But yeah, I have like 1 or 2 more that I'm selling right now. I thought about selling swimming pools. Those were big during COVID, right?
COVID, yeah.
And even afterwards, as COVID started to taper off, because you have all those suburban mothers that are germaphobes, right? And so you had that. Smoky Smoke says you'll take 2. Okay. We got it coming. Jim, how's the crypto? Oh, thanks. Corey, we'll talk about that. Corey asked that question like I lost $10,000 in crypto. I have not. Thank you very much. Haven't made 10,000 either, but so yeah, I think that's it. I mean, I don't want to say I'm always looking.
But you're frequently looking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always, I'm always on the clock. So if something shows up, there's what else? I mean, this isn't necessarily reselling. So I hope this isn't too far off, but a business that has really, I mean, it's maybe you're reselling it. You're kind of the middleman. I thought about getting into the supplement game, right? Because you have the shittiest podcasters making money off supplements, and I'm like, if they could do that, I could do this, right?
There's a
So
couple people in the Lego investing space that have moved over that way.
yeah, and I don't think I'm breaking confidence saying this now, and if I am, I don't give a fuck. But West End Toys, all you did was hear about Lego with them, but their number one vendor, as they call them, wasn't Legos. It was supplements. They were selling supplements for this very small company. But and when I say small, I'm talking about personnel, not small in volume. And they were making a killing. So every time that guy came over to, I guess, have meetings, like everything stopped. So yeah, the supplements that we have a VIP member who I haven't talked to in a while, but he got into the private label makeup, on selling on Amazon, and that could go either way, right? Because if it's, you don't want to invest a lot of money in it, but the problem is if you don't invest a lot of money and it becomes popular and you run out of inventory and you don't have more inventory lined up, then your listing gets kicked to the very back. And I know some people that have been burned just because, and they've never been able to get back into it just because the product was so popular. They couldn't do the demand and fulfill the inventory.
Yeah. Well, and I'm pretty sure now Amazon has, they actually increase your fees when you have low inventory.
Oh, they do?
Yeah. Yeah, they're good like that. Okay, so Hoarder asked a minute ago, what do you think about the smart brick? Is that going to sell or is that going to flop?
So
clearance fodder.
The smart brick pisses me off so much that I'm like, I don't have enough energy to see what exactly is going on here. Like, and then another part of me is, okay, so your number one thing that you're showing while you're advertising this is a stud that says Lego that lights up. Like, you got to be careful, man. Whenever I worked at Starbucks, once they started selling umbrellas, I was like, I think they're not paying attention to where they came from, and then their stock dropped in like 2001. And so we'll see. I mean, I've always thought it was a no-brainer that they should have been marketing to 18 plus people, years before they did. But there were no smart bricks for the people that are 18 plus right now, right? I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, and I forget where the press release was. Penn Place posted it, and they mention in there about enabling kids' creativity, but they give you a new product that has very fixed options built in within it. So doesn't that actually limit creativity? It's like right now, a kid can take these bricks, build whatever the hell they want with them, or by the manual, either way, and then they have infinite numbers of ways to play with them. They can make all the swooshing sounds, everything else that they want, or they can use these bricks that have I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's 6 or if it's 200 ways to interact, but they define the parameters of the play just by using that. It almost seems to be the opposite of what they should be encouraging. And it's Lego, so anything they do tech related, it just feels like it's going to be terrible anyway.
Maybe they're looking at it a completely different way. Maybe they're looking at it like we need to do something that separates ourselves from the other brick companies that are starting to take away from us, because there's Lego designers that like bona fide that used to work for Lego designers that now work for other places. So maybe that's a reaction towards that. But yeah, I'm pretty jaded, and I truly wish I wasn't, but I'm pretty jaded whenever I pull up something. I pull up Lego Link, and I'm like, all right, what do we got today, right? And so when I see the bricks, it is what it is. Now Neo says Lego is telling them how to be creative. Yeah, that's true. But I mean, so what's the solution to that? Jailbreaking Legos? Like is that like a thing now? Like I don't know if you heard. I guess PlayStation 5 can now be jailbreaked, and it's a hardware issue, not a software issue that someone discovered. So they're making new PlayStation 5s that are jailbreak proof, but the PlayStation 5s have been out for years now, right? So what's going to happen there?
Yeah, I do appreciate that while Lego has become such an 18 plus, adults welcome company and so much is focused on us, the smart brick does bring it back to putting some attention on the kids, which I think is great. I like the idea of kids having a more kid product, but I don't want tech in the Lego. Like, there's tech and everything all over this world. Everything you do has some kind of technology attached to it. Lego was like the one kind of like fully analog thing, right? Unless you go and you grab an actual book made of paper, which that's still all we do in this house. But that's it. You have books and you have Lego. And now you just kind of have books.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see Emma Soros going out there and buying a bunch of tech Lego and turning her city into a smart city. Like it's she's still going to have Molly walking the dog and the mailman and Emmett, and that's it, right?
Yeah, well, I think Emily is business savvy enough that if it makes sense for her to make that a very tech heavy city, I think she'll do it.
Well, it all
And
depends how much she's going to get paid too, right?
yeah, yep, exactly. Yeah, she's not going to do that out of pocket. I mean, I would assume not. I don't know her personally, and I don't want anyone to think I'm speaking for her in any kind of way. But I think she has shown over the whatever it is 4 or 5 years that she's been around that she's pretty sharp in the business world, and she's done well for her.
She is. Yeah. I got that. When you first saw her on YouTube, dressing up like a. I'm trying not to be mean, like trying to make herself look like a junior high kid, right? Like, hi, I'm Emily. I'm like, sure you are.
Yeah,
But once you got past that, I was like, okay, like I get the whole thing now, and you are. And I was saying that to a few Lego influencers out there. They're like, I don't like her. I'm like, well, I'm not saying I'm the biggest fan of her either, but I'm telling you, I think I see something that the rest of you are missing.
yeah,
So
yeah. So I've seen a lot of that with Nicole and Jean over the last year, and you see how their content has shifted and how much more of it has become business. I really appreciate that. Man, I love watching people develop a good business sense and actually succeed with it. And you can kind of watch them, steer the ship and get everything straightened out. And then, their funny little ship just becomes a yacht. And it's good. I like seeing that. Seeing Nicole end up at, actual space events and getting sent all this F1 stuff, and it's pretty cool. I mean, good for her.
good for
I
her.
don't know what goes on behind the scenes. None of my business, whatever it is, but good for her. It's
Um, I will say this because I was just checking to see if this was public yet, and since it is public, I will mention this because I don't think it's um, that what I'm about to say is public, but it makes sense. So on Jay's Brick blog, uh, I was searching to see if it was announced that they're doing an ET set, and Jay's Brick blog in October said that they did. Uh, I could report to you exclusively on the Duck Dynasty YouTube channel. You're not going to see
Brick
it
Dynasty.
anywhere
Come on now.
else. This is a scoop. This is a first ever. You heard it first. And you better hit the thumbs up button that the ET will come with uh, a smart light brick.
A smart light brick.
Yeah,
So
like the
you think it's gonna make the sound? Oh, like Soundwave?
well,
So it'll talk to you?
so like didn't like when he was dying in the movie, didn't his like heart turn red or something like
Oh
that?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
That's gonna be gross. Like, I remember being a kid and seeing that, and it was just kind of disgusting.
Well, and I was like, why are they making that? Is it like the 40th anniversary? It's like,
I think it could be. Let's see.
I feel like I was 5 when I saw that movie.
Let's see. June 11, 82. It hit theaters.
And I was 7.
Wow, that's crazy. All
Yeah,
right,
so that's going to be in the upcoming ET set.
yeah. Ah, yeah, not 40th, so it'd be 44. Oh my word. Yeah. Man, I hate putting dates on anything because it just reminds me of the clock ticking there. Yeah. Oh well, I got a couple more years before I catch another zero, so that's okay.
I just need 25. I was telling somebody at church, I said, I just need to hit 25 more years and I'll volunteer to be a bus driver in some war torn country, then hit a roadside bomb and I'll be fine. But
That's
yeah, I got
that's
deadlines.
basically
I don't
what
have
my
anything past 20 2051. After that, my schedule's free.
2051. God, isn't that when my youngest graduates? So on I think it was the first day of first grade, my oldest got a T-shirt that said, class of some ungodly year, whatever it was. And it actually had little check boxes on it for every year that she's going to be in school. So you could check one off and take a picture on the first day of school every year. And of course, first grade, things hanging down past her knees. And I look at the shirt in the closet now, and it's like, oh no, that thing's gonna fit in a couple of years. Oh, my word, they grow so fast. It's terrible. Terrible. All right, but we're not gonna trying for the 45th. So okay. So if ET comes out next year, that would be the 45th anniversary.
Does it really need to come out? Well, and that's what they're doing, right? Because Jaws was number one at the box office, right? For that one weekend. I think Revenge of the Sith was number 2. And Back to the Future, I took my my 6-year-old to the movie theater. My 9-year-old was like, why can't we just watch it here? I'm like, because okay, loser. But whatever. Like you're just wanting your father to bully you. So you're not a loser, right? But Back to the Future was number 2, and there was some press release saying that's what they're going to do now, right? They're so, I mean, I guess ET. But here's the deal, man. I think of those video games that they found in the desert, right? You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
No, it's a
No,
time
so if you Google ET video game desert, like it was in like in Vegas or somewhere in the desert, like they were surveying and they were going to start building there, and they started digging up the area and they found like thousands of these ET Atari games that yeah, it was horrible. I've said it, like my kids have watched the Back to the Future trilogies. We're trying to do the Star Wars. I told them when they first turn 13, they're going to watch Ferris Bueller's Day Off and The Breakfast Club. But there's nothing about E.T. that I'm like, I even did the Never-Ending Story, right? Because I wanted them to feel that trauma of that white horse dying in the tar pit. Like I wanted, the plan was my dog, who's still alive, God bless her, the plan was she was going to get old and die when my daughter was 3, and that would be her first discovery of loss. Well, my daughter's now 6, so I'm like, all right, we're going to watch the Never-Ending Story, and you're going to watch this white horse die. Damn it! But yeah, it is. Yeah, E.T. Atari, what a story! But yeah, there's absolutely nothing. And here's the deal, and it pains me to say this because I was a huge Gremlins fan when I was a kid, but I'm looking at that damn thing. I'm like, do I really want this?
Yeah, Gremlins is one of my favorite movies of all time. And
if it was in a theater, I would go and see it. But I'm not buying a Lego set. I would rather buy that 101 Dalmatians battle pack with the 2 dogs.
Yeah. Thinking of that, so obviously for quite a few years now, Lego's been going crazy with the buildable characters and whatnot, and we've been getting the 3 tiers of those every year. So we get the cheap one, like we got the baby Simba, then we got what was the middle one there? Angel was the middle price point, and then we get big Simba, I think was the order. So we get 3 every year. Winnie the Pooh is the big one in 26. That could be cool. I think there's going to be a lot of money in the table on that one. The right price point, if they don't make it horrible.
I hope you're right. That I could be wrong, but that current Winnie the Pooh set isn't putting numbers on the board right now.
That got the Walmart curse.
Oh, is it?
Okay. Well, yeah, because on that hit the Black Friday sale. I mean, it sold out pretty fast, but there were people that were, able to order, 70, 80, 90 of those on that first shot. So that got some Walmart damage on it. I think we've done okay though. We probably sold half a dozen of those at 175, somewhere in there, 160, 175. I mean, not massive quantities of them at this point. Atari 2600. Yeah, Atari, man. How is the retired Atari doing? Is that going anywhere? I haven't even looked at that one.
Let's find out. $179, $189. Walmart $269. I love that positivity.
Yeah, $289 on Amazon.
Let me see. There's another gaming system coming out this year. I'm wondering if it's been announced yet.
In Lego form or
in Lego form? That's all I could say. After the call, I might tell you.
Why Lego hasn't sold a Super Nintendo yet blows my mind. They must hate money. So Super Nintendo, that's the one with the curvy controller?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I never had a Super Nintendo.
Yeah, I got I did Nintendo, and then that was it. I took my Nintendo apart when I was 13. Couldn't put it back together. And I didn't have any interest in buying anything else until Mortal Kombat came out.
Yeah, we did. We had Nintendo. My girlfriend had a Genesis, which was convenient. And then when my sister got old enough, we got a PlayStation for her. And I played that a little bit. But at that point, I was just partying and being an animal. So no real use for video games at that point.
Yeah.
And we have none in the house now. There hasn't even been a request for a video game system in the house, which is slightly odd, I suppose. It's more popular than what? Really? Super Nintendo would be more popular than the original?
Well, it's not Super Nintendo. Let me just tell you that. That's the only hint I could give. It's not Super Nintendo. It's not even a Nintendo. How about that?
Well, Did they, wait a minute. Am I having a brain fart here? They didn't do a Genesis, did they? They just did the Genesis controller. Because the only IPs for video games that Lego is working with are Nintendo and Sega, right? Yes, you're just showing your age. Yeah, that's a thing. Thanks, man. Yeah. In a lot of ways, I am the boomerist of the Gen X crowd. That happens. All right, where are we here? We are, all right. All right, so we've hit 11 o'clock. And Jim, I know you got the call tomorrow night too, so I don't want to keep you on here forever. I do appreciate you making it this far. So I won't keep you anymore. Any parting thoughts? for the night?
No, man. I mean, the Lego reselling community right now seems pretty mellow, which is a good thing. Before COVID, there were, and there may be, I'm sure there is, people out there. They were, wanting to be too close to the chest with a lot of things because they were afraid the secret would be out and that professional wrestling is fake. And that has come out with COVID and everybody wanting to be a reseller, right? So every new day there's a boomer reseller that's getting closer to death if they haven't died already. So the angst and the get off my lawn resellers, their voices are becoming a little each day a little bit less loud. And so it's very mellow. I mean, would you describe that as what it is right now? I mean, everybody's smartened up to what the deal is and how to do it, right?
Yeah, I think people have definitely gotten smarter, or they're paying 25% APR and in the corner shaking at this point.
Yeah.
And we don't need those people around. So good news.
Yeah. All right. Let's sign off so I could tell you some stuff, and after the call, we'll get out of here.
All right. Everyone, thanks for hanging out tonight. It has been great. Next week is, what do we got? Next week is the 14th, and Brick Dad will be joining us. And Brick Dad will be like the 7th or 8th vet that's been on the channel. So that's pretty awesome. I'm excited about that. Great guy, best mustache in the business. So that'll be fun. We'll have a good chat. And what else? There was one other thing. And Friday night, I'll be over on the TikTok machine. I think ideally we will be checking out a bulk lot of minifigures that I should have delivered in the next 24 hours or so. So that'll be interesting. But until next time, we'll talk to you guys later. Love you all as always. Have a great night. See you later.